Oh yeah, baby dolls, welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. Biddy Coin still sitting around that nice, lovely price of around 94 to 95,000 American dollars. The monthly structure is holding, which is really lovely to report out here, friends. We're going to go through some Donald Pump news. We've had a bit of a negative reading with the US GDP. Apparently, it's got something to do with the trade deficit stuff out here. I mean, like, who cares about that? They're going to fix it out. Now, when we're looking at these things, friends, I just want you to know that Biddy Coin, around this monthly structure, it is the monthly chart, okay? Everyone's just worried about, like, 4-hour and these dailies and these shorter time frames, and it is nice to look at them, friends, but it's random skit stuff. This is what we're looking at right now. Biddy Coin, I think I'm going to show you some charts out here. We could screw around here and then go up, or we go up and then screw around. It doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, we need a lot more bigger pumps than what we've been seeing right now. ETH BTC, remember, pretty much now, friends, we're moving into the month of March. So we're saying goodbye to April. We're moving into March, and next month is June, and then after that is July. Okay, so hopefully it's buy in May and go away. I've got some more videos coming out for you later on. It's usually sell in May, go away, and the data for the stock market is like horrendous for May to October, pretty much. May to October, total trash. It's basically like 20% of your gains are only there. Like 80% is a gargantuan number if you buy in, I think, November and you hold until April. And then you sell again in that March. But I think it's going to be different this time. Why? Because I need it to be different. Why do I need it to be different? Because it's been going down for 4 or 5 years, and I don't want to give up now. I don't just want to sell and ruin it. Like, imagine you get it wrong, by the way. Imagine it is buy and may go away. Then you have to be coping with everybody else. Here we go, friends. So this is the chart for Ethereum. We've had 5 red monthly candles in a row as well. Now, it's very, very tough, isn't it? When you're dealing with this many red monthly candles, and you don't have any solace, and you have no comfort in your depression, because you're like, man, can we just change this monthly candle color? I know it just takes time, but hopefully when things start to turn around, it gets a lot better. We didn't know, man, it was just going to go this scam, you know what I mean? Biddy Coin on the weekly chart still looks great, which is what we want to see as well. So we've seen all the macro stuff, right? We've seen gold kind of stalling out, which is pretty much all we need, and everything out here. We also have the US dollar hanging around the lows here. So hopefully the US dollar maybe like stalls out a bit, then it just makes its way down lower throughout the rest of the year. That's what we want. Remember, there's a weekly chart of the US dollar. Remember, the US dollar going down is very stimulatory for all of us. Remember, friends, also going off Arthur Gaze. So our favorite, one of our favorite macro dudes, Arthur Hayes. Just call him Arthur Gaze because sometimes he's just a gay bear. That's all. But Arthur, he is watching very closely the treasury accounts from, the US government and the Federal Reserve. So he knows the stuff they start doing before they print money. He knows, like, one account goes up, this thing goes down. He knows what to look for, when he studies them. And it's all printing money, but he knows, they're getting ready for, like, the big ones, the bazookas. He can see some stuff out here. So be very wondering, how does he know no one else knows? Well, here's the thing, friends. Firstly, the guys who know this stuff, they're not like crypto people. So they're not like skits. They just write like little, like cute little 50-page report essays. And yeah, they charge like $5,000 a month and stuff for this. He pays for stuff like that, this research. So these guys make these big analysis stuff and research stuff. Yeah, they pay like thousands of dollars a month just for these reports that they get delivered to them. I guess it's high quality to them. And yeah, they're the ones able to kind of predict things, but you got to think about, like, when they're predicting things, it's kind of like you're trying to make a couple of basis points on a bond spread, and that's why your fund needs to have like $150 million plus position, $1 billion position to do anything from it. With crypto, we go really wild with the memes, and like we get really, really loud. That's why we punch through all the media, because, friends, these guys aren't on Twitter. If you check all the boomers on Twitter, they're all like, black and white logos, and they type with like normal letters. There's literally no memes, no color. They write long posts, and like they don't even have their pictures up. You're like, oh yeah, that dude. What's that guy, Brent Johnson? Like, you check him out on Twitter, you can't even find him. You have to look up like what is it, like Santiago Capital or whatever it is. I'm like, that's the dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know who these people are. Whereas with the rest of us, I've literally got an Australian core cat here going, yeah, suck my lollipop, major loser Jerome Powell. So we actually punch through the noise. But in crypto, we're bleeding edge, but you need to punch through the noise, because It's a total free, hyper-competitive market. It's a wild, wild west. It's free capitalism. No one has a gun in your head telling you to go buy or sell a coin. So you have to really create this memes, cults, religions, archetype. That's why the people who succeed in it, they're more in tune with that. Whereas in the stock market, for example, the cult stuff, I guess it would be cool, but it's hard to do it. You still need the product. Like in the stock market, you can own something totally boring, brown logo, but you know, they probably make like, I don't know, hooves for chairs. And no one knows that you're like the one company in like, you know, 15 countries that makes these little like, you know, foot hooves for chairs, and you make like, you know, $400 million a year and you trade at a certain PE. So it's just a different paradigm. And maybe crypto is going to actually change them with all the marketing and stuff out here, because you got to think about the world, friends. We'll speak a bit more about AI. Remember, we're moving into an AI world and 3D printing. So like if you can just print stuff yourself, you don't actually need a lot of the products out there. You just got to pay for the material, which is going to be a very, very interesting future for everybody. So you got to think about this. If we're lowering the cost of manufacturing everywhere, what happens then? Well, it depends on your network. Okay, what's going to have the value? It's where you decide just to hold because of your feeling, maybe your beliefs, maybe freedom of speech, freedom of movement. Maybe it's the country flag color. So that's the world. We're talking about the next 10 to 20 years out here. Also, holy moly. Wow, friends, look at this, friends. The monthly candle of S&P 500, oh my gosh, is almost green. Damn it. Friends, this is such a big week. I can't help but think that one day we come back. Or maybe we even come back and check it again. We'll see. Just to continue now. Looking at the others BTC chart with some cranky G music. Friends, look at this. This is the others beat. This is the others dominance. Okay. Look how disgusting that is. You see the background things. I'm gonna have to delete these. This pissed me off too much. Look at the past cycle fractals. Look at this. Look, see these going up. We're already meant to have had alt season wave 1. Look at this. This is so terrible. Look how good it looked, by the way. It looked so good. We're on the way there. You see that? Here was Trump, others dominance, which is altcoins going up, and then we just went straight down. We just literally, that was our peak, literally 1 month. Whereas theirs kept going up. Man, that's maybe I'll just leave it there just for the nightmare, but nah, we already know we got scammed. Who cares? I don't want to see that junk anymore. So yeah, it is what it is. Maybe we get some sort of right translation of the cycle. Is it hoping and coping? Maybe. I guess we'll go on through that. Now, for it to crack on with a bit of news. So Richard Hart has done his latest messages. They are pretty much, he asks his question about the chicken and egg stuff, which I'll cover it again for you later. But basically asks his questions. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And I'm just here to give you a friendly, just like translation of what he's actually talking about. So I made this picture. You're very, very welcome, friends. Peppy holding this chicken. Thank you. So he's basically talking about the Interpol. Okay. So it's obvious. Richard in his tweets. Richard in his tweets, he said, I wonder who yada 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 made a charity or something out. He goes, I wonder who. That's how he starts it off. When just to let you know, friends, how Richard talks. He doesn't talk in these absolutes that might be legally coming back to him. So he doesn't say, I own this. I own this lollipop. He never says that. He talks like this. He says, I heard a rumor that a billionaire might own a lollipop. You see? That's how he talks. Because, friends, obviously, you might get annoyed by these riddles. Okay, but you don't have like $10 billion with like everybody trying to sue you, the fashion police trying to bash you, that 16-year-old kid who I've got to slap out myself if I run into him. You know what I mean? All these other weirdos just trying to target you because they've been the ambulance chasers out there, and that's your whole life. Okay, so the best thing to do is not to invite them in. Okay, so all you can do is catch your real friends with Pokeballs every single day. But that's pretty much how he talks, how he talks with everything. And yeah, most people don't relate to it because you got a net worth of about $27 like the rest of us. Okay, no one's trying to come after you literally 18 hours a day, finding out your companies, finding out where you live, finding out to try to do this, trying to get you to legally do things and stuff out here, right? Look at the SEC, dude. Friends, the SEC, like, that's what happens, friend. Like, if you're a target, people bring you to the government, and the government's like, oh, yeah, cool, that guy, let's go get that guy. We can get money because we're in debt as well. And also, this guy wants to take everybody off our US dollar in bank accounts. Cool, may or may not have a stablecoin. You see what I mean? It introduces a lot of problems if you know what I'm talking about with the PDI stuff out here, okay? So that's how he talks. with a lot of these things. And also, it does make things a bit harder because he talks in riddles. Then there's shakeouts. What's a shakeout? What's this or that? Look, man, it doesn't really matter, friends. Like, even he'll probably call you a cuck yourself. Of course, have respect for someone who I guess is smart and stuff out here. But if you're relying on the words of one man itself, like, it's game over for you, dude. That person will eventually disappear one day. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it is what it is. So this chicken and the egg problem. He's talking about the Interpol. And specifically, he's talking about how he made a charity in some entity country where the wallet of that charity is the PulseChain and PulseX sacrifice wallet. Okay? I'm reading between the lines, okay? So he's made that. That's a charity. So anyone who donates into this wallet, which was PulseChain and PulseX sacrifice, here you have the PulseChain logo. So it went into a charity address. Okay? In this country, all charity is non-taxable. Okay, which countries? I don't know. He's done the research. He's the billionaire. He's probably paid some lawyers. He's 30 grand. Go tell me what the answer is. That's basically what it is. You're just paying for information when it comes to accountants and stuff out here. Okay, so they do it. They go and set it up, and it is what it is. Okay, so that means corrupt Interpol with Finland with their long nipple soy lactating milk man boob bureaucrats in Finland and the estrogen union over there in the EU. Yes, that pretty much means they don't own the blockchain. They don't own those wallets. Those wallets belong to someone else. There you go. It ain't your money because it went to charity. Okay, so that's pretty much setting it in stone. Now, where do we go from here? Well, it could also be that the Interpol gets dropped sooner than we think, because I've heard some whispers and talks that the Interpol's whole basis was on the premise that the SEC was going to win. Okay, that's why the Interpol did it. Like, oh, this guy's guilty. Let's go get for more money and let's go do this and do that. Yeah, but okay, the SEC didn't win. We defeated the SEC. We got the top 5% results. Okay, it's kind of funny, friends. The disbelief in a lot of these cucks out here in crypto. I get it, dude. I get it. Okay, you don't like Richard. You don't like the fact that he lives on top of a sandwich shop and you have to walk 24 minutes to go to your local sandwich shop. And they don't like, just don't like Richard as well, probably because he's smart and he knows how to talk in layman terms as well. He's almost like superhuman in that regard, genius marketer. They just don't like it, friends. And so it's a disbelief as well, because they see PulseChain down 70% after 4 years. They see Ethereum and everything down. So when they come across the news, they go, oh, the SEC walked away from this news case. So don't let it get to you, friends. Who cares? They're just basically looking at these at the candles going down. You know what I mean? Who cares? Like, it's just their opinion doesn't matter. They're not going to buy anyway, man. They're going to play momentum. Okay, playing momentum means they're going to buy high and they're going to suck us off when pretty much the green candles are coming. Also, moving on, friends. So President Trump says this is Biden's stock market, not Donald Trump. So I saw Ivan reply. He goes, oh, this ain't good. It's pretty much what why did Ivan say this is not good? Ivan's basically what he's saying to everybody. He goes, oh, crap. Trump is not taking responsibility for the stock market having the worst first 100 days ever in president history. So he's just shifting the blame. He's doing the politician stuff. He's like, damn it, we hired a non-politician who will take responsibility for the things, but now he's just shifting the blame to Joe Biden. Which basically that's why people don't like seeing that, because it means if things continue to get worse, you will keep refraining from taking responsibility and you'll just keep shifting the blame. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so this is Donald Trump's treat. This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until Jan 20th. Tariffs will start kicking in and companies are starting to move into the USA in record numbers. Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while. Has nothing to do with tariffs, only that he has left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, it will be no color. Be patient. There is also a tweet from President Trump on January 19th, the day before he got in. He said, this is Trump's stock market. He actually said that. I think earlier this year, because it was rallying through the highs. He goes, this is Trump's stock market. And now that it's down, it's Biden's stock market. So it is what it is, friends. Don't worry about any of these. These are just words in the air, blah, 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 blah. They're trying to corner him into a corner. Politicians just talking, dude. Who gives a crap? They're not going to change anything, right? We just want them to pump the bags at the end of the day. President Trump says our country will boom, as I read before. So Eric Trump, which is his son, Eric Trump says banks who don't embrace crypto will be extinct in 10 years. Pretty cool. So they're all going all in on crypto. And yes, AI is the future. Crypto is the future. Well, the future is now, they say. Maybe there's going to be a merge between it. It won't be in a meme coin. Oh, kind of hope it is, though, because we understand that we can get in. As well, moving on, friends. So President Trump says China is doing very poorly right now. Probably just the general words where they say, hey, how do you think your policies are going? Treasury Secretary Bessent says the US is on the verge of becoming an AI superpower. So remember, friends, I've mentioned to you many times that in the stock market, why a lot of people are scared that we're high, okay, not Snoop Dogg high, although a lot of you wish you were there now. A lot of people are scared we're high because we have not had a proper recession in a long time, okay? And the last time we went up this long was from the 80s to 90s. This was the technology boom of the stock market, okay? This was the internet sent us up for 13 years pretty much, but the final 2 years was the mania, and then we just pretty much had the recession after that, okay? So everyone's scared that we're going to get the collapse right now. Now, it's possible we do get the collapse. It's just that AI is powering everything, right? And you might be saying, hey, but AI, things are expensive. No, dude, no. AI is just like, when you talk to people about AI, friends, it's kind of like, oh, wow, cool. Like when I talk to people, AI can like book your holidays, you know? Tell them like, oh, you want to go somewhere water, you want to have 1 day rest, your budget is this amount, you live in this country, book you a freaking holiday and tell me where to go, put the itinerary. And it can do that. Like, oh, wow, that's cool. Save me some time. Yeah, but there's got to be some mind-blowing stuff. Because the internet, friends, you got to remember, putting commerce on the freaking internet was, oh my gosh. That's why Amazon just selling books, okay, at the time. But that blew everybody's mind. It's kind of funny at the start. Do you know, friends, when I came to the online internet, I'll never forget this. I read this story where they asked people on the radio or like people out here, hey, the internet's booming, like during the mania. And they said, are you excited about ordering pizza on the internet? And literally everyone said, like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Because I could just, why order a pizza on the internet? Because I could just pick up my phone and I could just do that. I remember there's an American accent, like probably from Tennessee. I could dial up and pick up the phone. I just want to go order the pizza over here. Just kind of funny how wrong they were. Now those same slobs don't even have a phone in their own home. They're literally like, beep, 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 you know what I mean? Just slapping around and using the internet. And now you're so lazy, you can't even go to the internet on your computer. You got to use the internet on your phone, which is funny how it worked out. The laziness, friends. Like I can't wait one day till we get the Google Eye spectacles, and you just like have your shortcut to like order pizzas. Probably like a double left wink, like we've got another pizza coming out here, just so you literally have to do the minimal actions. Do you see how, friends, the people like when like, oh, you can order internet on the phone. So people still faded it there, but it was like life changing. Whoa, you could do new things. With AI, we're getting there. We don't have the AI company boom yet, you know. We have the tech, but we don't have the amazing things yet, you know. So what's it going to take? I don't know. Like imagine you get like a robot out here. Imagine someone makes an economical $10,000 robot. Literally, it's like your child. You're like, hey, go get me some beer. You know what I mean? No, this thing doesn't have ID. So you can just imagine this eventually running in. And it could happen faster than we think. We just need one bit of a breakthrough here and there. With the internet, I think it was like we started getting like 56K modem, if you remember that speed. Before it was super, super slow. Then we like hit this point where like you didn't have to wait 4 hours to load a JPEG. It was only like 6 minutes to load a JPEG. That was just like, whoa, we could load this JPEG. You can maybe see this nipple, which what it was like back then. So AI is going to have that same probably experience eventually. Moving on as well, friends. So President Trump says Canadian Prime Minister Carney called him and said he wants to make a deal. It seems like that's the like good stock market talking point. I want to make a deal, make a deal, make a deal. It is what it is, bro. President Trump says he will speak with Matt's president, Winnie the Pooh. And remember, friends, we are now in the month of Marwai. In this month of Marwai, President Trump is meeting with President Xi, Winnie the Pooh. So they are going to actually meet. What are they going to talk about? I don't know. So it depends. If the market wants to go down, there's going to be some jitters there. Like, oh, they couldn't get to agreement. And then they're going to make another airplane meeting later on. So it's outside of our control anyway. Who cares? Like I showed you, friends. Out of 11 past months, ETH BTC, 10 of them were red. Man, like we need 5-6 green in a row, bro, which is like, we might just be running into 2026. We'll see. Visa, friends, have launched crypto stablecoin payments in Latin America. So this is the special flag I've put here, friends, for South America there. Wink, wink. Now, it's a stablecoin supercycle. Very, very obvious. Okay, stablecoin supercycle. I'm going to actually show you the next news about it right now. So it's very clear, stablecoins. Why are stablecoins important? Because, friends, crypto's been around 15 years. Everyone in the world who wants to like take on risk, they're in it now. They know how to get in. Hey, I want to take on risk. I'm risk seeking. Let me get in. Okay, they're in it now. But when it comes to everybody else who just has a US dollar account, they want to participate in crypto, but they don't take on risk. So what do? Okay, you've got to accommodate for them. Stable coins. Because they just like holding a dollar. They don't want it to go up and down. They can't handle fluctuations. They want to earn yield. If you get them in, eventually they will invest from there. Eventually, at some point. And there'll be products issued around them and stuff out here, right? So that's how it's obviously probably going. And that's why, friends, as well, who could see this, maybe Richard Hart. That's why maybe the PDI narrative has something to do with it. Maybe, because like, that's why you got to take a punt, man. Did this guy have a vision 3-4 years ago? We're going to have to fix stablecoins. Did he have this vision when no one in crypto was talking about it? Absolutely no one. It's interesting, right? Well, maybe we'll find out the answer one day. Now, friends, Cripple. So Cripple offered to acquire Circle USDC stablecoin issuer, but then Circle rejected the bid because Ripple want to pay in XRP tokens with a low bid. So I think Cripple offered them $4 billion, 4 or 5 billion, and Circle said, nah, bid's too low. So, but a lot of people in the comments are like, whoa, XRP is cashed up. They have 1.1 billion on their balance sheet from dumping the tokens, obviously, in cash. 1.1 billion. So where do they make up the difference? Probably hand them XRP tokens. It's your only asset. You got nothing else, right? Or you just get some lot of bridging loan from the bank. I don't know. Circle doesn't even make that much. I think Circle makes like $100 million a year. So maybe the bank, someone will take a risk on that because they have a big name out here. But there's something interesting to think about. Remember, Ripple want to acquire stablecoins. Everyone wants the stablecoins, friends. So if you want to know why, it's because they're all looking at the coin rankings. That's what they do, friends. See, when you go to coin ranking sites, you're looking at your coin. Like, oh, my coin's up 2%, minus 1%. These big dogs, big whales in crypto, investors, entrepreneurs, they're not looking at if the coin's up or down. They're looking at the ranking and they're looking at, oh, which market share can I steal from? That's what they're looking at, okay? So you don't think that. So it's a higher level. It's a higher level. So pleb level is plebe. Is like when you go down, you go, oh no, my avalanche is down 2% for the past 2 hours. How will I ever recover from this? That's what you're looking at, friends. You're looking at this, okay? They're looking at, oh, okay, which market share can I steal from? 1.8 trillion sitting in this store of value. Interesting. They already did that, right? That's why XRP launched, 2013. Here's Ethereum. They go, oh, a layer one is 200 billion, that's garbage, bro. Ethereum should be closer to 600 billion, dude. 200 billion for this. What about the next one? They go, oh, I've got a layer one chain. We know how to do that. I go, ooh, what is this? Tether. So you're looking at Tether. You're like, boring. You're looking at the price of this, right? They're looking at the market cap. They're looking at, oh, how much money of that can I steal? That's what they want, friends, because that's what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, if Tether's almost 150 billion, 150B, and they're going to be maybe 200B one day, 250B, and we get like 10% of that, oh my gosh, we could have $20 billion in stablecoins taken out. By the way, you know who had that? My friend Changpeng Zhao. My friend Changpeng Zhao, some of you know him as CZ, maybe you've heard of the largest exchange in crypto, Binance. So Changpeng, my friend, he had the Binance US dollar, BUSD. They had 19 to $20 billion in it. It was making about $1 billion a year. Yeah, it was making 5% yield, buying the government yield. So it's making $1 billion a year. The corrupt SEC and their scum clown nose, on instruction from the deep state, from the US Fed, major loser Jerome Powell, always late Jerome Powell, okay, they gave him instructions because the SEC is a secret fourth shadow wing arm puppet of the US Fed. They came and they just ordered Binance to shut down. Why? No reason. And then later on, they went after CZ for fake jail allegations. They put him in jail wrongfully for 4 months. And there you go, friends. So what was the actual goal of that? The goal is, remember, USDC and USDT, they actually hired the Fancy Bananas investigators, if you know what I mean, and the Coconut Intelligence Agency. You know, the CI and the FB. Okay? So they're actually in there. They're not in Binance, okay? And they took down Binance because they want to route all the volume in crypto through Cuckbase, right? Because Cuckbase is an American, that they know the American CEO, Brian Boldstrong. They got him on phone, and they've got everything tapped. They've got everything there. They want it to be the custody, and they want to control everything. Okay, they want to control the ETF. They want to, because it's just like gold, right? They want to make sure gold trades to the US dollar because they can manipulate it if they need to and do short and leverage on it. So that's why they want Bitcoin and all the ETFs, right, to trade through USD that they can control. So USDC, USDT, that's why. Yes, they've basically overtaken them. And why is that? Because, friends, remember, the US Fed, they control half the equation there. Yeah, what does control half the equation mean? Well, if you ever needed to put a stop to it, to close the gates of people leaving the US dollar, guess what you can do? You can mint Tether. You can mint USDC yourself because you control it. Then you can give yourself credits on the future exchanges, and then you can go short Bitcoin if you need to. Okay, they do that to gold over time. They keep a cap on gold. They were doing this in the early 2000s, 2005, 2006. Goldman slugs, friends, were caught doing this. So there's one guy, he literally spent, I'm not joking, something like 40 days. He went through 40,000 documents of Goldman Sachs, their public accounts, literally 40,000. This literally one guy, literally in his living room, he printed off. I don't know how he got 40,000 documents, went through this, printed every single paper out. He manually calculated all the accounts of the entire Goldman slugs, every single account. And what did he find out? They were short 2 times the world's supply of gold. Isn't that wild? They were actually short. How are you short 2 times the amount of, like, maybe there's 2,000 tons of gold in the world, whatever it is. Like, how are you short 4,000 tons of gold? That makes absolutely no sense, right? And it still blew out. Isn't that wild? They still blew out in that gold run. I'm going to show you it right now. This was the big run right here. Okay, so this is where they blew out. They were keeping a cap on gold, and they blew out somewhere here. And then you had the actual GFC here. So I think they started blowing out. It's kind of wild, right? He calculated it. And obviously nothing happens. They just go hush, hush. That pretty much confirmed that's how they do keep a big lid on gold as well. The weekly chart of gold. Hey, we have 2 red weekly candles. We just need it to go sideways and stuff out here. Hopefully crypto can pump off that. Some other news as well, friends. So North Carolina, not to be confused with South Carolina, the House has passed the bill to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So we also saw recently, remember, Michael Chad Saylor bought even more BTC. He owns 2.64% of the total supply. That includes even Satoshi, man. So like, man, that's wild. Friends, if you want to know, I think like 7 million Bitcoin is missing. So Michael Saylor, he doesn't, of the circulating supply, he doesn't own 2.63%. He owns more like 4% of the circulating supply. Oh my gosh. That's whatever it is. That it's gonna keep buying more, by the way. He's gonna keep buying more. And everyone's gonna give him more money because Bitcoin dominance goes up only to them, Bitcoin goes up only to them, and then eventually, it's gonna run into problems. Now, friends, you're probably wondering where are we gonna go from here? Well, I've got some charts here from BCB. This is the Bitcoin fractal. He thinks we're around in this little area. We could be doing this, where we go and zip up and we screw around and then we continue up higher. We do another floor. We could be doing that. But also, we could as well just be stuck in this area now, which is where we are. See, we're making our way from here. I'm just going to draw a little horizontal line where we are now. We're in that little area. We could be right there, right? So that next phase is what we're looking for. That's what we've done in the past, how it's looked in the past. So maybe, right, either we screw around here or we like go up here and then we screw around again before we continue up. And that is the thing. Of course, it's cool, but he has that. It's literally all over at that point. So what would all over at that point be? Maybe it's like 130K BTC and then it actually crashes back down to like 95, which like he says it's literally all over from that point. And I'm just thinking, man, that's a nice trap though. Because think about it, friends. Like everyone wants to sell. Imagine by June and July, if we go up to this 130, the fib, right? Remember, I literally have told you like every day for the past 3 weeks. I said, well, it wouldn't a perfect trap be you go up, everyone wants to sell at 150, right? You know, everyone wants to sell at 150. Just to let you know, all the KOLs, I know you're all watching me, all of you want to sell at 150. Crapto, Ivan, Crypto Banter, Incest, the Twink brothers, all of you, literally every single one of you. Oh, Crypto Crew University, Steve, like everyone's looking at this 150. Crypto Crew University, Steve's got like 130 now. But yeah, everyone, friends, like I'm sure some names I'm forgetting. All of Uncle Bobby, all of you have this magical 150 number, 150, 150, 150, every single person. So I hope we all get it. You never know the FOMO that can come in. But one trap could be, right, everyone wants 150, does the classic market stuff, stops at 130, okay, and then, by the way, no one's going to be saying the cycle's over there. Why? Because it hasn't hit their target. You know when they'll say the cycle's over? After it comes back down to 95 and it does this and everyone thinks it's over, then they'll tell you, hey, guess what? It's actually over and I've sold and it's going down, down, down. That's what it might be, friends. That might be blockchain backers saying it. And look, I don't know. I'm just going to keep believing. Whee! That'll be fun if that happens. I don't know what happens after that, friends. It could be over, right? I'm playing for euphoria, friends. Look, in markets, I know there's cycles and stuff out here. In altcoins, I only see strong hands. I only see die-hard, strong hand believers in all of these altcoins. I don't see weak stuff. You know who I see weak stuff in? I see weak stuff in Bitcoin dominance. You don't know a world where Bitcoin dominance goes down. None of you do. Okay, you're just here because Michael Saylor's here. I know you're here. Eventually, this thing turns around, and I know you don't want it anymore. You know, North Carolina, yeah, you're going to be fighting over with West Carolina about who wants to get rid of their Bitcoin the fastest. Now, they might not necessarily sell, but I guarantee there's going to be halts and stuff out here, friends. They're just retailers, friends. They're mums and dads. They're only in because the thing's price going up. That's the only thing they're in there for. As well, friends. So this is the Apple chart. The S&P 500, we have a bit of jitters. So Apple's on this big slice down. BCB thinks it's some sort of distribution. We have the government. The GDP was this big negative reading. So what do we really do? Well, we are now in the month of Marwai, aren't we, friends? The month of Marwai. And yes, the business ISM reading, friends, it's coming out in like 24 hours or something. The survey's 48. So they're expecting 48. Maybe it's a bit high, a bit low. That's garbage, dude. 48 is trash. It's below 50. So that I already changed it here. 30 months in a row bad. My gosh. So it is what it is, right? And you already know this from the prices being pooped. So alt season traditionally starts when the business cycle is confident enough to give us 52 readings, okay? 52 readings. Look at this. See, business ISM hit 52 back in June 2020. And guess what? DeFi season was June, July, August. That was actually the cracker DeFi season as soon as it hit 52. Also, when it hit 52 in 2016, this was Ethereum rallying, okay? This is in 2016. Actually, I want to show you right now because I know this. You know, so that is around June 2016, which is funny because if you go back and look at ETH BTC, okay, ETH BTC, isn't this wild, friends? Look what was happening in May, June in ETH BTC. Look at that. ETH BTC had its first big rally up. Isn't that wild? That's actually crazy how it coincided with that. Okay, so I'm looking at this part here. All right, but then when it crossed the 52, you had the first little 2016 marker. That was like basically Ethereum becoming alive. And then after that, when it crossed 52 again, here you have, look at it moving up. There you go, alt season starts. And then you get the alt season wave 1 and wave 2. And then you even go to 2013 as well. Check this out here. If I remember, friends, around here, this period of time, you see when this little jip up, that actually made Ripple launch their token up here, 2013. This thing like gave them that much confidence. They launched it. They launched it a bit late at that time, but Bitcoin was still high. And then you had the 52 reading up here. Okay, so if you notice with us, that's why the green horizontal line is 52. We have not had anything like that whatsoever. So like to me, I would not mind if we just like basically, you never know, man. In the next June, July, man, imagine like freaking we just hit 51.5 and we come back down everyone thinks it's over. And I'll be like looking at it. I'm like, bro, I'm not getting out of a crypto cycle when we've never even hit 52. That would be the best, because that means we're looking at fundamental data and everyone else is going off like 4-year Fugazi magic, which hopefully ends up cucking them in the long run. Why? Because it's a believer's cycle. Believe in the lollipop, believe in friendship. Like, subscribe, Billy Button all. Catch you soon.